And welcome into the Thursday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Hope everybody's off to a fabulous start of the day here today. Joe Rexrode, good morning. How are you?
Living the farting dream, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Living the dream. You know, if I woke up every day and I was Joe Rexrode, I think I'd be living the dream too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you something, man. It's a beautiful thing. I don't even know what to say.
You know, there's nothing you need to say, you know?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it really is. Every day just better than the last. It's amazing.
Ian, how are we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. Doing just fine, thanks. A little tired today. Did some overtime work here. We did some fun landscaping, got outside, got dirty. My neck of the woods there. So it was good. Looks much better out there. And yeah, it was a beautiful day. And didn't do too much when I got home, I'll be honest with you. Kind of hang out with the fam. Summer's full go, but doing good, thanks.
Ian, it tells me that they didn't have a whole lot of faith in Joe and me. They just basically looked at us and said, "You guys stay inside and wipe down everything that's in this building." You know, just clean everything that's in this building. We're not putting you guys. You're not going outside. You're not having any tools. Just stay in here.
Hey, we needed the help inside and outside, so it was a team effort.
There we go.
Yeah,
and
that's a nice way
Kuharski was making fun of us. Oh yeah, Kuharski dropping in text yesterday about the NBA draft and bragging about his second round picks for our Knicks, and then the Pistons make a nice trade for a bunch of second round picks. So you guys are two peas in a pod there, Joe.
Yeah, I guess I should get on there and brag about all those second round picks Pistons just picked up. That was an interesting one. I like Isaiah Stewart, but there you go, Memphis. You get Isaiah Stewart. Ian, how many hours were you out there yesterday?
How many hours? I think we were out there till about 1 o'clock.
Good God.
Something like that.
They just absolutely, I mean, you were just an absolute mule for this place, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you get some good food out of it?
Yeah, we got Lance from sales. We got some food out of it. We did. Bless you. We got some food out of that. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were probably done a little bit after 1. Got a little food, probably left around 1:45, something like that.
Did anyone from any other show help?
Any other show?
Yeah, like did Vingan ever show up?
No,
Willie
Vingan.
D.
No. The Jake Lyman offered to help after the show. He came down, checked with me. He's like, "Hey, you need me to go help anywhere?" And he's like dressed in his nice clothes with his Vanderbilt shirt on and nice shoes. Yeah. I was like, "No, that's okay. Don't get dirty. We'll be fine." Frazier showed up, but he did not.
Of course
help.
He did.
Yeah, no, he didn't help though.
Big Joe help at all?
No Big Joe. Okay.
So no one helped.
No
so
one
basically, Robby and I wiped down, which really wasn't much. I mean, you know, I did get a lot of crap off some ceilings. Robby, you got some stuff cleaned up. Ian does 4 hours of absolute hard labor outside. No other show does anything. Awesome.
Way to go, guys.
Happy to represent.
Complaint box. I'm filling out a form.
Oh man. Good stuff there. Although, look, I will say it's probably better for all of us. I don't mind saying this on the air. I would say it right to his face. It's probably better for all of us that Adam Vingan was not doing yard work. I think it's just better for all of us, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you could give the guy a rake, right? Like,
I think so.
Give it a shot, man.
We got a lot still. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. I hope he's listening. That's all I know.
I do too. We got a lot of stuff going on today on the program. Pekka Rinne will join us at 8 o'clock on the show today. New Hockey Hall of Famer. He will be at 8. Charles Robinson normally at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. He has moved to tomorrow. So he will join Joe and PK tomorrow on the show. But Pekka Rinne at 8 o'clock today on the show. And we will get into obviously Pekka Rinne's Hall of Fame induction with him a little bit later in the program, so looking forward to that. We will have the Rob rant on today's program. I got a philosophical Titans question I want to throw Joe's way later in the show as well. And, of course, the best and worst things in sports later this hour at 6:45. But we begin, Joe, with more moves being made by the Nashville Predators, more trades between the Predators and the Colorado Avalanche, which Chris MacFarland is basically just saying, hey, guys, I know your entire roster. Let's see how many of them we could take. If he works his way up to McCarr and McKinnon, Joe, I will be thoroughly impressed by what Chris MacFarland is doing out there. But Jack Drury acquired by the Predators from Colorado yesterday. The Preds also receive a prospect and forward Chase Bradley and a third-round pick in the 2029 NHL draft. And they send Colorado Fedor Svechkov and Zach LaRue. So you're talking about two former first-round picks there from the David Poile era. And Svechkov, LaRue traded to Colorado. Jack Drury coming back the other way, which means the Predators have picked up Ross Colton and Jack Drury from the Colorado Avalanche. Drury is 26. He is, I think he's going to be a restricted free agent, so you got to work out a contract, but a restricted free agent, not that big of a deal to work out a contract with. He's a guy that has been a bottom six player, Joe. He played in all 82 games for Colorado last year, 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points. A thing that really stands out to me is he is an unbelievable faceoff player. Like his career, and this is not just like, oh, he takes 10 faceoffs here or there. His career faceoff percentage is 57.1. I mean, the guy is a really good faceoff. He took almost 1,000 draws last year and won 58.1% of the faceoff. So a very good faceoff man, bottom six player. So Jack Drury acquired by the Nashville Predators. And Chris MacFarland comes in, and within a few weeks, Joe, has shipped off a couple of former first-round picks. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I look at, one of the first things I thought of was, okay, so now, like, is Svechkov going to, like, all of a sudden, like, the light go on somewhere else, I mean, LaRue is one of those guys you kind of thought was going to be, maybe a, sandpaper, long-term, bottom six guy for you. And, it hasn't totally worked out for him as hoped, as maybe it looked like it might a couple years ago. It's fine, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a no big deal either way type thing to me, but I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that Svechkov in particular. I've said this for weeks now at this point, right? When you're a general manager taking in the job, they have so many prospects that you're going to have to find out who are you keeping and who are you moving on from.
You got a glut.
This is not just as simple as, well, get all the young guys up and find them a spot somewhere. There's not enough. Like, there's not enough spots. And look, I think this is a very common thing in professional sports. When you're talking about now a general manager and an operator of your roster coming in that is 2 GMs removed from a guy who picked you and you're not an established player yet, it probably doesn't mean great things for you, right? Like, it's probably, I mean, in all professional sports, you generally look at those guys and say, yeah, you might be one of the first ones to get moved. So, like, I'm not, particularly on Svechkov, like, I'm not at all surprised that this has happened. LaRue is interesting because I thought LaRue at the end of last season, found a little bit of a role for himself. You started to see the offense come in a little bit more. I mean, it wasn't like he lit it up or anything, but you started to find a little bit more of the offense. He's a different type of player. Plays with an edge to him. I mean, he's not overly physical. I think that's a kind of a misnomer about him sometimes is, yeah, he is physical. He's not some enforcer out there or anything. So it's, it's not a huge loss from that perspective. I am more interested to see the player that I guess LaRue turns into than I am Svechkov. Like, Svechkov, I was super down on at the end of last year. Maybe he responds to it. Maybe, he ends up in a new spot and plays really well. Last year, I watched Svechkov and I was like, I don't know if this guy's going to be in like an NHL player. That was the way I kind of walked away from it. The body, he's got, good size to him. He's got good skill to him, for, when he gets the puck and the confidence is there. So he may turn into a really good bottom six player. But like, if you think that Svechkov's going to turn into like some top six forward, I would be very surprised by that at this point.
So is this just Colorado cleaning things out a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah. Just, I mean,
adding some more youth, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you never know.
those two guys are both younger than Drury. And
Right.
again, just not that Drury's old. He's 26 years old. But I just think when you look at Colorado's roster, I mean, they're doing kind of some little things right now. And I think the Colton move is part of this too. They're doing some little things right now to open up maybe some more cap space for moves to happen this offseason. And they got to extend Cale Makar, right? I mean, I have no idea what that number is going to come in at, but it's going to be enormous. Like, it's going to be an enormous contract for Cale Makar when that happens. So I think all of that is in the back of their mind. I'm interested to see, like, is there some sort of big move that they're trying to go for this offseason? But for, MacFarland, you've acquired Colton, who you can flip at the deadline if you want to. I think he's got a year left on the deal. And now you've got an RFA that's not going to be that expensive in Jack Drury. So, like, it's been, I think, low risk moves by Chris MacFarland to this point.
He is also allowed to make deals with teams other than Colorado.
Now, that is true. It's very fascinating that the first two trades he's made, and be like, let me just call Joe Sakic, see if we can get something worked out here.
I know that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very interesting. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will take your reaction to Fedor Svechkov, Zach LaRue being traded to Colorado, Jack Drury coming back the other way. And what do these moves tell us about maybe what Chris MacFarland's plan for this offseason is? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025, discussing some moves made by the Nashville Predators yesterday. Fedor Svechkov, Zach LaRue traded to Colorado. Jack Drury coming back the other way. Also a prospect, Chase Bradley, a third-round pick in the 2029 NHL draft, coming back in the trade as well. 29, a few years out, Joe. Anytime you can get a third rounder in 2029, you can do it. You know,
I hear the third round looks really good that year.
I agree. I'm doing some scouting out there. So what does this mean? What do the moves that MacFarland has made to this point, bringing in Ross Colton and Jack Drury, what does that tell us about the offseason plan? I don't know. It tells us a ton so far. I would say this. I mean, Loppy on the YouTube chat says that Drury basically is like a McCarron replacement. I mean, I would basically agree with that. I mean, they're not, exactly the same type of player, but you're talking about a bottom six centerman who can win faceoffs, kill penalties. I mean, the difference would be Jack Drury's 5'11" and a $185, and McCarron's massive. So it's, it's a different type of player in the way that they play. But yes, like you're talking bottom six player that is going to be put in similar situations that McCarron was. Like Ross Colton has been a good player in the NHL. I mean, not a great player, but he's been a good player in the NHL. He was on, a Lightning team that won a Stanley Cup. He's been on a Colorado team that's been really good and kind of knocking on the door over the last couple of years. Colton has been basically, he scored 22 goals in a season. He scored 16, 17, 16. Yeah, down year. This last year scored 9. So what does that mean? Is it a down year on a really, really good team? Is it the sign of maybe things turning on him a little bit? I mean, he's 29, so it shouldn't be, a huge sign of you going the other way or anything like that. But like Colton, I think can be a good, middle six player for the Predators. So, and again, I think the Colton move in particular, Joe, you look at it, you say, all right, you bring him in, he's got 1 year left on his deal. You can move him if you want to. So I don't think there's a ton of risk involved here with MacFarland to this point. It does make me wonder, when you see somebody coming in and they immediately ship off 2 first-round picks that, as Predemption points out on the YouTube chat, have not shown what you would hope to have seen by a first-round pick. It immediately gets my mind going to, all right, what about like Kemmel, right? He needs to be on the team, and he needs to make some sort of an impact with the Nashville Predators this year. What does this mean for him? Like, does he have a spot on the team? Is he going to have to really work at it in camp to make the team? If he doesn't make the team out of camp, what does that mean? Like, what do you do with that if you're Chris MacFarland? Like, I do think what this signals more than anything is like some of these young guys, particularly younger guys who have been in the system for a while and have been around for a minute, better start to show something or they're going to be out of here pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a clear takeaway from this. And it makes sense. And like you said, I mean, you don't have an infinite number of spots. I think at this point, we're going to see, some opportunity for young guys, but it's this point, there still could be other moves that, you could make moves that keep your super veteran core and possibly, give you a chance to be like more competitive this year, or you could move one or more of those guys and kind of make it clear, that this is just going to be an acknowledged step back. I think at this point we still don't know, right? I mean, that's the big question. Yeah. And these moves don't really tip the hand on that. At least I don't think they do.
No.
But yeah, it's to get some guys who could be part of the next few years here is not a bad thing. And yeah, again, I mean, the first thing I think of whenever moves like this happen, and a lot of them have happened in the last few years, which is, guys who previously had high hopes, who were high picks, and they move on, is like okay, is that guy going to now go somewhere and flourish? Because it does feel like in some cases, not in all cases, that that has happened, and then you're like, okay, so why is that? But maybe I'm overemphasizing that. I mean, there's been some,
Yeah, it's a fair thing to bring up.
Yeah, and again, some of that may just be as simple as going to better teams, right?
Right.
But to your point, I mean, Svechkov, I mean, a year ago, think about how much was kind of put on him, and the hopes that were pinned to him, and then how different it looked by the end of the year. I mean, the year before that, old Tommy Boy, had a lot of hopes pinned to him, and then it was like, yeah, it's not going to work. So it makes sense to me.
Well, the bottom line is it's been a long time since they've had a first round pick come in and make a significant impact. And I mean, that's going to change here at some point. Like Brady Martin, I don't know how good Brady Martin's going to be. Brady Martin is going to be he's going to be an impactful NHL player. The question is how much. Like, how much of an impactful NHL player is he going to be? So, like, they're going, Dike, I still think is going to be good. Matthew Wood came in this past year, and I think you're really excited about that. So, there's first round picks right there that you're excited about, but there's a long gap between, Dante Fabro was a serviceable first round pick that didn't live up to what you hoped he would be, and then you eventually moved on from him. Like, you got a little bit for a little while out of Tolvanen, and then you lost him and moved on from him. I mean, they went Tomasino was a total bust. Like, they went through a stretch of first round picks, and some of it's understandable because some of these first round picks were kind of right in the thick of them being competitive.
Yeah, they weren't high.
Right. So even so, they went through a stretch of first round picks. They were bad. And again, Svechkov is still young. We'll see, but it was a very discouraging year on the Svechkov front this past year. LaRue, I'm interested to see what that looks like. But the bottom line is they need some of these first round picks that were more recent, like Kimmel. And of course, Wood continuing to build on what he did last year. Like, if those guys, when you've had as many of them kind of coming in and out of the organization, if you don't have a better hit rate, if you're the Predators moving forward, then you're just going to have no chance. So that's a huge part of this is, hopefully some of the more recent first round picks they've made start to materialize into actually, good NHL players, because they wandered through the wilderness for a long time, not having many of those.
Logan, sounding like Brennan Rexrode, says it tells us our first round picks have been ass. Well, that is one way to put it. By the way, Logan, I did not do the CPAP machine last night, so thanks for asking, though.
Okay.
I chickened out.
All right. A lot of differing opinions on the CPAP.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I just had too much crap going on to deal with it. But tonight, I swear.
One texter asking if he could be playing Moneyball with a face-off percentage from Jack Drury.
There you go.
Just get Jack Drury out there. We'll always have the puck, and you don't have to worry about anything else.
Just get on base.
Listen, I mean,
Scott Hatteberg, get on base.
Yeah, get on base. I mean, the face-off is important. You got to go out there, and if you win the face-off, that can get you out of trouble in the defensive zone. So it's probably primarily where you'll see him is in the defensive zone, taking face-offs and winning them. So that's good. That's not a bad thing to have somebody with the ability to do that.
A not unimportant thing.
A not unimportant thing.
Yes, right. Yes, not unimportant.
Very well said.
Thanks.
Very well said. More of your thoughts to get to on the Predators front. Again, Pekka Rinne will be with us at 8 o'clock on the program today. We got the best and worst things in sports coming up later this hour at 6:45. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sound's taking on the Gwinnett Stripers at First Horizon Park. First pitch at 6:35. You can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. We'll have the best and worst things in sports coming up at 6:45. We'll take your best and worst things on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. More CPAP advice rolling in for Rexrode on the text line. Keep those coming as well. I think, Joe, I don't know if yesterday was helpful for you in the CPAP journey or if it became more confusing with all the different advice that came in.
Well, no, every little bit helps. Some people like it, some people don't. I mean, I have some friends who have had them for a long time and they swear by them. So, we'll see. Long story short, I got bit by a Lone Star tick. And so yesterday I thought I was dying. So I'm on antibiotics and I was like, dude, I'm not doing the CPAP thing on top of this. Get some virus now where I can't eat red meat or something or whatever, So, but today, I mean, I have to do it. So, I mean, I have an insurance minimum, to hours the week I have to wear this, So I can't mess around.
Listen, I wasn't going to say anything about the tick, man. You didn't have to bring it up. I was just now that you have, I'm trying to think of, first off, your life, man. It's like a cartoon character sometimes. I don't know, in the span of a couple of weeks, somebody get robbed at a gas station and then bit by a Lone Star tick. It's just, you're on a run right now, my friend. You're on a run.
I think maybe this is the Lions who are cursed, but maybe somehow the Lions have cursed me for abandoning the Lions. I don't know. But I will say that at the urgent care, the nurse told me that they are getting tons of tick bites, and it's way earlier than they're used to seeing them. She's like, this is the worst tick year I've ever seen. So that is something for people to keep in mind. Now, we have dogs, so that's probably how that happened to me. And the Lone Star tick is the one with a little dot on the back, and those can be really bad. So anyway, the ticks apparently are super bad right now. So everybody
check yourself.
Yeah, that's right. PSA for you. Also, yes, I am I'm the Wile E. Coyote. Basically, get anvils dropped on my head every day.
Well, not to get too much more into your business, but I mean, we're already this far down. Are you all right? Did they make any sort of determination?
No, I gave them blood, so okay. It's 48 hours. Yeah, they tested for all the tick diseases, so I'll be able to. It'll be a nice Friday night news dump if I have any tick diseases. So we'll find out.
Every now and then I'm kind of excited. Like for instance, when you got robbed. And then the video was in there. I was kind of excited to show PK. I don't know that I'm excited about this. I think you've suffered enough. I was just going to leave this one totally alone.
Dylan and Andy, Joe Rexrode just out here getting new and interesting illnesses. Yes, that's right. That's right. We did have a relative who lives in Brentwood who got this. He's a big bike rider, and he got a bite, and he got the virus that you can't red meat.
Red meat.
Yeah,
a lot of people are asking about the gout.
I would bring. I used to always bring my broccoli salad, my famous broccoli salad, to Thanksgiving, but I switched to turkey bacon, and it still was delicious.
Man, let me tell you, I really hope that you're okay here. We can't have that.
Yeah. Well, there's also, Lyme disease. That just sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's also try to avoid that.
Lyme with a Y. Lyme with a Y sounds fun. Yeah. But anyway, people out there, be careful. And yeah, I don't know. I think we might maybe need to upgrade the flea collars for the dogs too. I got some. Gosh, he told me about a really good one, and I forgot it. I would relay the information right now, but there's a really good one apparently that hopefully I can remember at some point.
I mean, does anyone know why? Why are ticks more active this year? What's happening?
This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, no, but she's like, we are seeing so many tick bites, and normally it's later July, August is when you see it. She's like, we even had one in March, and I was like, you didn't get a tick bite. And then she was like, oh no, that is a tick bite in March. So I have no idea, man. Are they like cicada bugs where like sometimes they cycle up? I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Good
Let's head
times.
back to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. Welcome in Tim to the program. Tim, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, first of all, about the tick bite, my sister was just diagnosed with it. She actually had to go through an exploratory surgery before they realized that it was a tick bite. It's what was causing her severe stomach. So she can't eat red meat no more.
Good grief.
Oh man,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
No, it's a serious deal. She ended up at St. Thomas, then they sent her to Vanderbilt. They did exploratory surgery at St. Thomas, and then she went to her primary care. And the first thing the primary care doctor asked her was she'd been bitten by a tick, and then they did the blood work, and that's what it was.
Wow.
But she went through all that to get there. Now, the CPAP. I had the CPAP. I had to wear it. I couldn't wear it because it dried me out. Well, then they put a humidifier on it. I still couldn't do it. I went through 3 surgeries before they got before the last surgery, I was stopping breathing about 120 times a minute.
Jeez.
I mean, an hour. I'm sorry, an hour, not a minute.
Yeah.
I'd have been dead.
I know what you meant.
An hour. Yeah. And so, but the 3 surgeries, they were no fun to go through. The first one, they actually took my tonsils out, your uvula that hangs down the back of your throat, the little thing, they had to cut it out, and they broke my nose and reset it. That was the first surgery. Second surgery,
That was just
they
one?
went in and screwed it. That was the first surgery, yeah. The second surgery, they go in under my throat, and they screw a screw in the front of my chin, and they run a wire through the back of my tongue and screw it in, and then do another screw and run a wire through the front part of my tongue. That was supposed to keep my tongue in the awake position. That didn't work. It got worse. But then the last one that finally did work, they actually cut my top jaw loose and my bottom jaw loose, pulled them forward, wired and plated my mouth shut for 7 weeks. If you didn't get it through a straw, you didn't eat.
Oh, man. Well, is it so how are we sleeping now?
I actually have dreams now, and that's one of the things with sleep apnea. If you're not dreaming, you've got it because you don't get in a deep REM sleep. And so that's one reason we knew how. Of course, they had to do sleep studies, but I actually know that it's good now because I have weird dreams. I mean, very weird. So good luck, man. It's not one for the faint of heart. Now on top of the tick and the gout, hey, man, you just need to be wrapped up in a bubble wrap somewhere and set in the corner.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right, good.
Tim, thank you and your weird dreams, sir.
Joe's becoming the new bubble boy, huh?
There we go.
I mean, as that story was going on, we just kept talking about, progressively horrible more surgeries that was going on there. Just the look on Rexrode's face of like, oh, great. This just makes me feel a lot better.
Well, the funny thing, I don't know if it's funny, but I've had jaw surgery. I had jaw surgery when I was 19 years old because I had an underbite. So I've had my jaw wired shut for 6 weeks, had food out of a straw. I don't know if that's good or bad right now that's already happened in my life. But, yeah, we got people on here saying this is Bill Gates, something like he wants to kill people and he wants to sell us his fake meat.
With the ticks?
With the ticks. We got global warming with the ticks.
Okay.
We've got what else do we got? We got different people spraying their yards. That's a good idea. Permethrin spray. Okay, Brandon says permethrin spray. All right. So this is hopefully we'll all, this is something we could all. I mean, the tick thing, I believe it now, so this is hopefully like helpful for the general.
I'm just glad
listening public.
I'm glad Tim gave us a nice review there at the end of your medical history of between the ticks and the gout and the sleep apnea, going through it right now, man.
Rosacea.
Yeah.
I'm glad I can just tell all my ailments here to the show. Herb from McEwen says, I think I'm having a weird dream right now.
Well, let's get into that. Do you have dreams? Have you been dreamless?
Yeah, very rarely. I feel like sometimes sometimes I know I had a dream, but I forgot it.
Sure, I think that
makes sense. Yeah, so I think that I do. But yeah, I've wondered about that. It's like if this is going to be all of a sudden like this way deeper sleep, am I all of a sudden going to like gonna be like Nightmare on Elm Street, and Freddy Krueger's gonna be chasing me around. Like, I don't know.
Be dreaming
kind of
about
afraid.
Koharski. Be Koharski all the time, man.
Koharski with the Freddy Krueger.
Come back here, Joe.
Oh God, yeah. Koharski and a Jason mask.
So is this the most off the rail segment in the history of the show, Ian? What do we think?
Quite possible.
I mean, that's a great call. As soon as he started talking about the dreams, I lost it, man. That's yeah. Look at this though. Lance says morning tablespoon of local raw honey and 1,000 milligrams of cinnamon capsules will kick the tick crud.
Okay.
That's a Clay County, Texas remedy. That sounds like frog pee and like grasshopper heads and stuff. It sounds like a witch's brew, but you know what? At some point, Lance, I may need to save this text.
Screenshot. It is time for the best and worst things in sports. We'll take your best things and your worst things on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
The best and worst of the sports week. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
On ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is the worst. You look like you're feeling sorry for yourself. They don't even know yet.
He's one of one. He is him.
This is a Coke bottle. It's not a crystal ball.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Okay, let's go.
It is time for the best and worst things in sports. We will take your best things, your worst things on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe Rexrode, kick us off with your best and worst things in the world of sports.
So my best, I'm going to go to the Memphis Grizzlies week. Cam Boozer, as I've said, he's the third guy in the draft. I think it's going to be a really good long career for him there. I was trying to think of like who he reminds me of. He's just going to be a really good, not exciting, under the rim, kind of boring, but maybe a little bit like, I mean, he's not the same type of player, but it's like Tim Duncan type thing. Now, is he going to be great like that? I'm not saying that, but like just boring, but it's just going to get you 20 and 10 and 5 like every night. Then they get Kareem Lopez as a really exciting prospect. I like the second round pick of Richie Saunders a lot. And then you go and make a trade, ship off some second round picks to the Pistons and get Isaiah Stewart in there to come in and work with Zach Edey. I really love what they did. They are my best. I know that, there's an easy soccer one too. I'm trying to leave something for you guys, My worst is a lot of possibilities, including Aubrey Huff might be the biggest farting loser in the world. But I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold of the Detroit Lions. He is looking at life in prison for this like kidnapping robbery thing where it's like he was getting back. It's almost like the OJ thing where like guys steal memorabilia, steals a bat, whatever. Something happened and he got revenge, and he is now looking at legit like life in prison for multiple felonies. A guy who has as a really good player in the NFL and appears to have thrown it all away. That's my worst in sports.
Man. Ian, your best and worst things in the world of sports.
Nothing really huge stood out to me this week. But I think I'm going to go best is the NFL telling Sorsby to fart off pretty much with the,
I thought about that
with the supplemental draft, just canceling the draft, not that
it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, that letter was pretty funny. Like, how about you don't act like a entitled, what, when it comes to this? And at least the NFL is taking a stand on something, even if it is the betting thing and how it's totally against the integrity of the game. And when you think about it, it makes sense how much they're really into that. Floyd used to talk about that all the time in the betting and that kind of stuff. So that always stands out to me. Worst, I think I'm going to go with the NBA draft. I don't know, however you call it, designation on who's picked for which team and how they have it all situated, and who's selected here and then traded here and who's wearing which hat and which team is he actually on. Like, enough is enough. It's
absurd.
Let's just go with it. Reading through the ESPN.com, trying to figure out who was selected where, and you look at the pick and then you see somebody's team emblem next to them, but then it says traded to OKC. So you don't really know who he's got selected by or which team he's even on for that matter. So NBA draft needs to get that fixed.
Yeah, it's absurd the way that's all played out. I mean, look, the best thing in sports, I'll do it. I'll be the soccer guy. I'm the soccer guy. Team USA, baby. We're back at it again tonight. They've moved on to the knockout round. It's fun to watch. Give me some Team USA soccer. As Trevor points out on the text line, maybe right there underneath it, Jameis Winston, doing the World Cup coverage out there is just amazing. Like every time Jameis is on TV, I'm all cool with it. So those two are a combo best for me. Go Team USA. Let's get this thing as deep as we can take it when it comes to the World Cup. And Jameis Winston out there basically just experiencing American culture in the World Cup with everybody else, right? First
Yeah,
off, whoever's
he's
idea
fun.
that was to put him on TV is just amazing.
Yes, TV execs sometimes make good decisions. So I agree with the end. Also, real quick on the NBA, one, like the 2 nights, unbelievably bad. Don't ever do it again.
Yeah.
And all due respect to Lisa Salters, a Nashvilleian, it's not her fault, but the attempt at something different this year where it's like, let's interview the player and like his parents. It's just, I mean, none of those interviews most of them are just going to be tough. They're just usually not good. But I would not go to that again. Like there are a couple in there that was interesting, and then a lot of it was just like, I love my son, I love my parents, thank you. It just it didn't. I get trying something different, but it didn't land.
I tell you, it does remind me of like I think Laura Rutledge was interviewing somebody at like the NFL draft one time. I can't remember who the player was, but she got his mom on camera and was like, how far has your family come? And she was not talking about like literal distance. I mean, she was talking about, in life, how far has your family come to get to this point? And the mom's response was, we came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is this is how far we've traveled to get here.
627 miles.
Yeah, we
According to
came
my
from
maps.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So that was a great moment on that. My worst thing in sports, I just had to put it this way. Canadian markets whining about what's happening in the NHL. Here's an idea for you. Operate your teams better, man. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't want all these players leaving, operate your teams better. I mean, that's just, I understand people all the time now, when anybody leaves in Canada, they're just going to make it, particularly if they go to Florida, they're going to make it like a tax thing. It's a tax. Like NHL's got to do something about the taxes. It's like, well, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl both re-signed in Edmonton, right? They didn't leave Edmonton. And let me tell you, if you've ever seen Edmonton, it's an easy place to leave. They didn't leave Edmonton. They both re-signed contracts. Now, one of them was for a short term, and we'll see what ends up happening here. But it tells you, if you get yourself a team that people feel like they can win, people hang around, they'll hang around and see if they can do it. Operate your teams a little bit better, and maybe you won't have to worry about some of this with players forcing their way out. There's just been a lot of whining coming out of Canadian markets this week in the aftermath of the Brady Tkachuk stuff.
I like it. Another good worse here, by an unnamed texter, the SEC network breaking up Tom Hart, Jordan Rodgers, and Cole Kublik. That is a bad. I guess Jordan Rodgers is getting elevated. He does a good job. Good for him. But that crew has been together for a long time and should stay together. That's a really, really good crew. It's just bad. That's bad TV executive decision making on that one.
Yeah,
we got a lot of best for soccer. Cape Verde too is a great one. That's
somebody points out. I mean, nobody wanted to play for Florida for 2 decades. Exactly.
Right.
Like
You said that yesterday.
They had tax advantages then too, right? Like it's not like this is some new thing. They've had tax advantages, and nobody wanted to play for them because it's a terrible organization. Well, now they're not, and people want to play for them. It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff from Nebraska also bringing up Linda Cohn retiring. You can call that a best or worse, but yes, legendary Linda Cohn. And a lot of talk lately of the early days, the 90s of the Sports Center, which was a very fun era.
Yep. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We will get into the Titans coming up next. I have a philosophical question I'd like to throw your way and Rexrode's way. We'll do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Out number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Check them out at greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Pekka Rinne will join us at 8 o'clock. We will get into his Hall of Fame announcement and relive some of the glory days with Pekka Rinne and his career coming up at 8 o'clock. So looking forward to that. On the show a little bit later, the Rob Rant coming up later this hour, taking your thoughts in the meantime at 615-737-1025. So, Joe, I've got a philosophical Titans question for you and for our listeners here today. And I think either of the scenarios I'm about to present would be very good for the Tennessee Titans. But my question is, which one do you think would be more beneficial for Cam Ward, for the Tennessee Titans in the long term? And that situation is this. Look, we've heard a lot about GM Dike this offseason, right? In terms of, we had a conversation with Kuharski a couple of weeks ago about, hey, it looks pretty good out there. How good would it be if by the end of this year you looked at GM Dike and you said, okay, I mean, that guy's a legitimate top 3 in your rotation wide receiver, or to the point where between Tate, Robinson, and Dike, you feel good about like those being your 3 guys moving forward here. And then, after that, you fill out, see what Io Manor turns into. Ridley, my guess is this will probably be his last year here with the Titans either way, but we'll see what happens on that front. But how good would it be if you felt great about Dike being, a good starting level wide receiver at the end of the year? And Gunnar Helm, right? Like right now you look at tight end and you say, okay, you got Daniel Bellinger coming in, who has not caught very many passes in his career, an upgrade in the blocking part of this over Chig. How awesome would it be if Gunnar Helm turned out to actually be a good player? I mean, there's some flashes from him last year. I'm interested to see what he could do in an elevated role this year. So my question, Joe, is this. What do you think is more beneficial for the Titans at the end of this year? Looking at it and saying, hey, Jim Dike, that guy's really good, and he's a top 3 level wide receiver just in terms of, like, you've got your 1, your 2, and your 3 figured out here for the next couple of years, or Gunnar Helm turns into a good starting level tight end for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Helm. I think it's Helm, because DK becoming a good top 3 wide receiver would be great, but there's other options. There's Io Manor. I think the Titans are still going to definitely be looking to like replace Ridley and hope that they have a Tate and a receiver to be named, at some point. And again, we'll see. I mean, like you say that, and then it's like, well, they may be desperate to get a tackle, a corner, whatever. But I think there's still another significant pick coming for the guy on the other side of Tate. Whereas, like, if Helm is a good starting tight end, I think that's they haven't had that for a while. Like Chig was a solid player and he could make some plays, but like, when's the last time the Titans had like an all around good starting tight end? I would argue that it was Delaney Walker, and Delaney Walker had the horrific injury in the opener of 2018, and that kind of accelerated the end of his career. It's been a long time. To me, that's a, especially look around the league, look at trends, more and more, and of course, Sean McVay leads a lot of this stuff. They did 3 tight end last year, like more than anyone, had ever done. And I mean, again, that depends on your personnel and things like that, but it can be an effective mode of attack if you have multiple guys, who are versatile tight ends. To have a good starting tight end, I think that's an under. Now, what does that mean? Like, how productive are we talking? There's different questions that go along with this too, but that's my first instinct. DK is going to be a good returner. Now, if you told me, okay, DK is so good that they don't worry about getting a number 2, because that's what he is, well, that's a different thing. But you said top 3 wide receiver. So that's why I want Helm.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm approaching top 3 as he's to the point where at the end of the year, they look at it and they say, well, Tate, Robinson, and Dike are our guys. Like that's, I think there's a thought out there that you get to the, it's great that you drafted Tate, but you still need another one, right? Like you need another one to go along with him. Well, what if they get to the end of this year and they don't? Like they look at it and they say, whether DK is the 2 or the 3. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson's caught 90 balls the last couple of years. So like he's
right.
He's probably a 2, right? Like when you look at it from that perspective, like if DK gets to the point at the end of the year where you look at him and you say, we don't really need to touch wide receiver next offseason when it comes to, with any significant move, when it comes to free agency or the draft, because we feel that good about those 3 guys. And again, I'm zooming in on DK here. That assumes nothing about, Tate and Robinson. They could go out there and bomb out this year. I have no idea. But like, I feel good about Robinson. Like he kind of is what he is at this point in his career. And Tate, he drafted 4th overall. So he's going to get a long kind of leeway here to see what he's got. It's an interesting question because like, I think if DK hits and you feel good about him at the end of the year and you feel like you don't have to touch wide receiver, like to me, that's pretty valuable moving forward. I would still probably lean Helm in this discussion too, just because to your point, it's been a while since the Titans had a tight end that you looked at and felt like could be a huge part of like the game plan of you winning games on Sunday. And the way that this question is phrased, and I'm not saying the Helm is turning into some elite guy, like it's not prime Travis Kelce or anything out there, but a productive, reliable starting tight end. I mean, when's the last time the Titans had a reliable starting tight end, much less a very good one? Like Tig was okay, but I don't know if reliable would be how I would describe him.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going back to Walker, but the way you framed it there, okay, then that makes it, it makes it hard. That I guess it's like, I think the answer then is just how good are we talking either way, like, yeah, if DK is, if you're like, if DK takes away your need, like long-term, like he's the other outside guy, and Wan'Dale, however long he's good, and the third guy, but if DK is so good that you're like, okay, there you go, Tate and DK,
yeah,
those are your guys long term. Okay, then I might lean that way, because if you don't have that, and if that's the case, I mean, the production I would think would be pretty good. We know he has speed, and I think he's definitely one of those guys who's gonna keep getting better in this league. If you have that is to take that away as a need, because look, you can get a good starting tight end in the 3rd and 4th round. You just have to pick the right ones,
right?
And so I think I would lean that way. If he's going to be, if he takes away your need to draft a receiver high, because again, they are going to have to go get a tackle. They're going to have to offensive tackle. They're going to have to do it.
Yep.
It's just a reality. Like you have to, at some point, find your long-term left tackle answer. And that does not exist on your roster right now. And I think, there's other needs too. We'll see. Like, I think you probably need a young corner.
Yes.
To build around at some point too. So if you could take away receiver and you're like, you got a good starting outside guy who's going to produce next to, obviously you're hoping your number 4 pick turns out to be a really good player. That's a big deal. So I think that's, if that's how we're framing it, I'd do that. If it's just like, he's good enough to be the starter this year, and then, you'll see moving forward, then I would probably go Helm.
Well, it's it, and then the question becomes, can DK do that, right? Like, is he capable of turning into a player that you look at it and you say, yeah, that's a pretty good outside receiver to go along with Tate on the other side and with Robinson? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, obviously he's a really good returner. We just saw that. But, I think as the year goes on, I would assume, Joe, the way it's going to start, if everybody's healthy, is that the 3 wide receivers you're going to see out there by far the most are Tate, Robinson, and Ridley, right? Like if Ridley's healthy, he's going to get out there and he's going to play. But whether it's injury or whether it's just as the season goes on, DK gets opportunities and takes advantage of them. You know, I mean, Kuorski talked about this a couple weeks ago. If you get to the point at the end of the year where you feel good about him being your other outside guy, I mean, how huge would that be? I mean, it just eliminates a need that you think you're going to have to try to replace Ridley. So I think that would be massive. Now I also look at Helm, and if he's a productive tight end, I mean, we see it. I mean, look around the league. If you have a productive tight end, like that can really transform your offense. So look, either situation would be good for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, in a perfect world, you get both, and then, I mean, good Lord, who knows what they could be looking at there. But I just think it's a fascinating year for a lot of people on this team. Obviously, that starts with the quarterback, but I just think there are so many like different nuances, different kind of subplots of all that on the offensive side of the ball that can make this really fascinating here. I mean, we didn't even talk about running back, but like, you know, what if Singleton turns out to be, show some flashes of being a good player this year? Like, there's a lot of subplots on the offensive side of the ball that I think are really fascinating with this team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Running back is very interesting. And that would be huge for the Titans if the best case scenario with him worked out. With Gunnar Helm, obviously, like someone on the text line is like, you don't need it to be like Antonio Gates. Yeah, he's not going to be. We know that. You can watch Gunnar Helm, and he's not going to be one of those guys. He's not Brock Bowers. He's not going to be Brock Bowers. He's not George Kittle. He's not Travis Kelce in his prime, Trey McBride, Sam Laporta. But can he be the tier below?
Right.
And be a starter who can play in line, you can detach, you move around, keep him on the field in all situations, and give you, 700-800 yards receiving, something like that, 8 touchdowns, something like that. Okay. That's a tight end the Titans have not had since they had even better than that, really. Delaney Walker, again, before, like in 15, 16, 17, Delaney Walker was a top, I don't know, what was he, top 3 or 4 tight end in the league? I'd say. He's dynamic. And Gunnar Helm, again, Gunnar Helm's not going to be Delaney Walker in his prime either. But they've been way below that level since Delaney Walker.
Yeah. I mean, a guy I kind of thought of, and he's getting a little older now in the league. But I mean, he still caught 82 balls last year for 777 yards. Now he only had 3 touchdowns. But like Dalton Schultz when he was in Dallas, right?
Yeah,
Dalton
player.
Schultz in 2021 caught 78 balls for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns, right? Like nobody ever thinks of Dalton Schultz as like some elite tight end in the league. But Dalton Schultz, if you go back and look at the numbers, has been a good player. Like he's been a good tight end in the league. Like if you told me Gunnar Helm could turn into that, I would take it right now. No questions asked.
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a good comparison. Yeah. And yeah, Dalton Schultz, I mean, not for some, sometimes you get caught. The run on tight ends in your fantasy draft went a little too early for you. Right. But like a Dalton Schultz was always a guy you could count on, and give you some production. No, that would be perfect. And if that's what we're talking about versus again, DK, what level is DK? If we're talking with DK, like a guy who looks like he might have 1,000-yard seasons in his future, on the other side of Tate, I might drift that way, but having a tight end like that long term would be a very good thing for the Titans.
615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll get to more of your thoughts on the Titans on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Our football offseason coverage brought to you by Tennessee Brewworks, the official craft beer of offseason coverage here on 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. Gunner, who knows, maybe Helm on the text line says, if Helm equals Jonnu Smith in his prime, is that good enough? Joe, I ask you, if he's Jonnu Smith that year for the Titans, is that good enough? I would say yes.
That's glad you brought that up. I did just participate in some Jonnu Smith erasure right there.
I guess we did. We both did.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith was a dynamic player there in 19 and 20.
But we say that, and he was. But, I mean, his max season with the Titans was 448 yards.
Yeah.
He was a splash play guy. He wasn't like a consistent, every day, every down kind of thing. He was more of a, I don't want to call him gimmick because that's not quite true. But he was, they used him in a lot of screens, that kind of stuff.
I mean, he obviously had the huge touchdown catch of the, one cheek down at Baltimore in the playoff game. He's a freak. Which is how he got paid. And of course, it didn't go as well for him after, as hoped. But yeah, if Gunnar Helm can be that kind of a weapon, I think you would definitely take that all day.
And it will be very different stylistically. Like Gunnar Helm doesn't have the athleticism that Jonnu Smith had. I mean, look, they lined Jonnu Smith up in the backfield under Arthur Smith and turned around and pitched in the ball. So they're not going to do that with Gunnar Helm. So I think it's a very different type of player. But like I think the red zone thread is where I keep coming back to with him. Like they got to find a way to get Gunnar Helm the ball in the red zone where he's scoring 7 or 8 touchdowns every year. Like I think he's got the skill set to do that. And I don't, I say it's not a ton to ask. It is. Scoring 8 touchdowns in the NFL is hard to do. But like I feel like that's where in this offense he could be a big weapon. Is the touchdown catches, when you're 15 yards and in the red zone, that he could go up and get you. Like, I think you saw some of that last year, his ability to just go up and get the ball. Like, I think that should be something that plays to your advantage if you're the Titans in the red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not going to have ridiculous numbers, ridiculous plays, but a consistent red zone threat, a consistent, obviously Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a guy a lot on like third and medium, but if you have that and a tight end who can get open against man or can find those soft spots in the zone, has that feel, has the feel with Cam Ward, then that's a big deal. Dennis says if you have the first pick of the draft at QB, Helm should be enough at tight end. Sounds like Dennis is a Ward. Are you doing? I'm just saying.
There we go. Could be. I mean, look. I mean, I guess I would agree with that, but I mean, it also, how good's Tate, right? Like, how good's Tate? How good's Dike? Like, Helm showed some good signs his first year, but like, I'm not convinced yet. I need to go see it that he can actually be even a starting level tight end, much less a good one.
Yeah, I mean, even great quarterbacks, like it's possible for them to be surrounded by players who just aren't good enough,
right?
So
exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hear you. If Cam Ward is best case scenario this year, that elevates everyone. And so that elevates a guy like, but there's still a lot to find out about Helm himself. And I think there's some good signs. I mean, I think one thing that comes out of this spring is that like Helm was in a lot of the key plays when they did team stuff. And that's exactly what you want to see.
Well, again, like, there's so many subplots on this offense. I mean, the two we're going to just be focused in on all year is obviously Ward, what he looks like, and then Tate. I mean, we're going to spend so much time talking about Ward and Tate this year. But I think between Helm, Dike, I mean, everybody's just forgetting about Io Manor, and I understand why. I mean, right now he's probably your 5th wide receiver. So we'll see how much opportunity he gets on the field. But, I think there were some signs from him last year, right? And then you've got the running back part of this. I mean, it's not even getting into the offensive line and how, the interior may not be able to block a single person out there. So, it could be a huge problem and derail all this that people keep bringing up on the text line too.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like to kind of going back to Dennis's comment, like if you have the first pick of the draft, Helm should be good enough. If you're terrible in the interior of the offensive line, all these guys may not look good enough. And I'm not trying to pre-excuse anything, but that is that just lingers there as the big question, and just no way to have any idea really. Until get into camp and you do some ones against ones, but that is, we talked about it yesterday, and the reality is those guys could be good and could still get killed by Simmons and Franklin Myers when they're in, right? So what are they against your standard average interior group defensively? I mean, you get a little bit of an inkling during the joint practices, maybe a little during preseason games. And I don't know how much, we're going to see the first unit play together. I would like to see the starting offensive line play together in some of these games, because you need to find out what you have and if you have to make adjustments. But it's realistically, it's going to be like the season opener when you really find out if they can hold up and just be okay in there. And then, by the way, your right tackle is kind of a big deal too. Like, what's he going to be this year?
Well, bottom line is, like, the Titans need to start seeing some pretty significant jumps from year one to year two from players. Like, they just haven't had a ton of that lately. They've had some, like, Cedric Gray took a pretty significant step from year one to year two. It's not like they've been totally devoid of it, but like
Skoronski.
Yeah, Skoronski. But like even Skoronski took a jump from year one to year two, but it kind of took almost halfway through year two, right? Like it was a process. And then I think he took a big jump from year two to year three. So like the Titans need more players that make pretty dramatic improvement from their first year to their second year. And they just haven't had a ton of it in recent years. And that's not the main reason why they've been as bad as they've been, but it's a contributing factor, right? Like they need, some of it's just poor selection. You select bad players, doesn't really matter how much better they get, because there's a ceiling of what they're going to be. But it would be great news for the Titans if some of these guys that were encouraging picks in the fourth round last year, like Dike, Io Manor, Helm, if a couple of those guys were at the end of this year long-term foundational type players for you, that would be, they're due for some of that.
Yeah, no question. And of course, we're talking about the other side of the ball, but when you talk about second year jump, obviously I go big time to Femi Oladejo. You like a jump for him would be like you can play him some,
exactly.
let alone him actually being productive. So here's a question then to tack onto all this real fast. Is it would you rather have one of these outcomes that we're talking about? DK, he's going to be a guy. Helm, he's a guy. Or JC Latham, okay, he's going to be your long-term right tackle. Now we know.
Man, it's a great question. I'd probably go Latham, just because the idea of you getting to the end of this year and saying, good Lord, we got to find another left tackle because the man door sprung loose, and JC Latham isn't playing up to the standard where you feel really good about him. That would be a horrific scenario for the Titans if you got to the end of this year and said, well, you might need to start thinking about two different tackles out there.
Right. Also, by the way, like, we know that this is a temporary situation with the interior of the offensive line.
Yes.
So to me, I'm answering Latham all day. If you know you got that and you only need one tackle to worry about moving forward, I think that's a bigger deal than the skill guys. Now, that's also, somebody needs to be good. So I guess we're all just counting on Tate to be good. That needs to happen.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that need to happen. Like I think Latham would have to be so bad this year for him to not be the starting right tackle in 2027. Like, I think it would, just because of everything you just talked about with all the other needs on the offensive line, I think he'd have to be just horrific this year not to be the starting right tackle in 2027.
Yeah. But you'd rather be like, oh, wow, here we go. The Skoronski a year later, and here's the next guy who has figured it out.
I don't want to be walking into 2027 with JC Latham with any questions other than when are they signing him to the contract extension? That needs to be the question I'm asking about JC Latham.
That'd be refreshing.
That would be nice. 615-737-1025. Our phone number. We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Titans. Plus, a development in college football that is not depressing. It's kind of funny, and we'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. We'll have the Rob Rant coming up at 7:45. Pekka Rinne will be with us at 8 o'clock on the program today to discuss the induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. So we'll have Pekka with us here in about 30 minutes or so coming up at 8 o'clock. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Brian Kelly, Joe, looks like he will be calling football games this fall. for CBS. Now, Front Office Sports first reported that Brian Kelly is going to be calling games. The Athletic has put something out there of him being in discussions with CBS. And apparently, I didn't know this, Joe. Apparently, he was a studio analyst for CBS Sports Network for its NFL draft coverage. So I'm sure that was outstanding. But you have Brian Kelly with, potentially calling some games here. And if you look at this, you're looking at CBS. They've got obviously, the Big Ten that you've got there, but there's also all these different games that end up on CBS or the CBS Sports Network. We could, Joe, be seeing Brian Kelly calling some Mountain West football. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, so maybe he. I'm trying to think of what he would change his accent to. Hey, all y'all here, baby. The Mountain West football, Colorado, Nevada. I have no idea. Like, what would that be? I don't know. You have to work on that, BK. Yeah, it's amazing. I understand that he's a successful coach. He's a big name in college football, but like, talk about just an incredibly unlikable person that you're putting on television. It's like, which I suppose maybe this goes along with the Alexi Lalas. Maybe he could be the Alexi Lalas of college football. I saw somebody, by the way, who said like some TV executive thought like Lalas could be like the Charles Barkley of the soccer thing. That was the kind of the idea, they were hoping. And it's like, people like Charles Barkley. People love Charles Barkley. Like, yes, and Barkley's outspoken. He'll say wacky stuff, but like, there's a difference between that and like what Lalas does, which is just mind numbing. But BK, I don't know. I didn't see any of the draft coverage. I wouldn't think he'd be very good at it, but at the same had, even though just an incredibly arrogant, unlikable person, Brian Billick.
Yeah.
Remember Brian Billick? I mean, talk about just an a-hole, right? I mean, like just absolute central casting of like the arrogant coach. I didn't think he was terrible on TV. Because I thought that like he did a decent job of breaking things down.
Yeah.
For things that weren't obvious, for a ball knower, helping the non-ball knowers know something. So maybe BK will be able to do that. But it is pretty funny to think about him calling some Mountain West games this year.
Yeah, I think Brian Kelly can like ham it up for a little bit and like come off somewhat likable sometimes, but then you see him in real time on the sideline, you're like, oh yeah, this guy sucks. It's just like this guy. And then there's the fake accent stuff that we had just a tremendous amount of fun with on this particular program when he got to LSU. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a needle mover for me. I'm certainly not watching games because Brian Kelly is on there. I don't think he'll be very good at it. I have been surprised before, Joe. Like we've talked about Drew Brees. I thought Drew Brees would be really good. And then I watched Drew Brees call games one time. I was like, oh, so he's not. That's unfortunate. And I think he's gotten better from when he first started, but it's still not very good. I don't think Brian Kelly would be very good at it. I think the idea from what I'm reading is maybe it's a 3-man booth. So that's a little bit of a different dynamic than just like your straight up broadcaster and then color commentator. But still, I don't know that, first off, what does it mean about, is he done coaching? Like he's 64. So like, is he going to find another job again at some point? I don't know.
That's a really interesting question. It seems like it would be a fine time to hang it up because as poorly as things went at LSU at his age, he's chasing a championship. He's never won a championship and he's trying to chase that. But who's really going to give him, like, what job can he get right now that would put him in that possibility, that would give him a real chance at it? It's hard for me to see.
Hard, yeah.
I mean, he can take a step back. There's certainly places that would hire him. I think he could get a power forward job. There's places that would hire him, but a power forward job with that kind of possibility, and I think that like there's old school coaching, and then there's just like the way he goes about it, which is just, again, I think he loses the room. And plus, there's a lot of stuff that did come out. And I know sometimes this is people piling on when somebody gets fired or whatever, but some of the stuff you heard out of LSU about how detached he was from everything, and I know some of what you're hearing is people now saying Lane is just great. Lane's, oh yeah. I mean, so, this always happens. New coach comes in. Everybody praises what the new coach is doing. Everybody rips the last coach. He was terrible. Now he was actually an idiot. He didn't know anything. This guy's amazing. So you have to take that all into account. But even before like Lane, there was some stuff when Kelly got fired where it was like, yeah, you got to be, especially now with all the different things going on as a coach, you have to be really good. You have to be at your best. And it doesn't, it seems like maybe he's eroding a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe this is just an announcing career, and maybe he will be good. You don't have to be Mr. Bubbly. Everyone loves you if you're a good analyst. Is he unafraid to criticize people? Because that's something that we have a problem with in broadcasting. And and I could see him being a guy who isn't afraid to
doing
say
that. Yeah.
And if that's the case, maybe Brian Kelly becomes, more of a primary college football announcer.
Yeah,
what a story that would be.
It's like John Madden 2.0. Let's head back to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Chad in Nashville to the program. Chad, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning. So if Brian Kelly does Big Ten games like, say, Minnesota against Wisconsin, is he going to be like, learn how to, it's first down, you betcha, is he going to be able to go that far with the bit? And
I kind of hope so.
Yeah, you kind of hope so. Actually, I could probably give him some tips on that, because when I first moved to Nashville 30-some years ago, I had to change the way I talk because I was actually from up there, and I learned real quick, and I would send this over to Brian, make those O's just pure O's, and make those, if you get that, so if he does a game in Minnesota, it's the process we got to follow here. And then the further south he gets down in Louisiana, make that O and A. It's a process. And that's all he's got to do.
Thank you, Chad.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Beautiful.
I mean, I do kind of hope, Joe, that he leans into this a little bit. It could kind of become his shtick,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, he's from Boston, so if somehow he gets up there doing a BC Syracuse game or something, he can just everybody wicked. This is a wicked great game. That was a terrible, terrible Boston accent, but you get the idea. You get the idea. Yeah, just wherever he is, just lean into the local lingo. That could be kind of fun.
Isn't that where isn't he from up there? He's from Massachusetts.
It's from Boston.
Yeah, just get in there and just let it go.
So he certainly has that accent.
Yeah.
And he spent really most of his life in Western Michigan, which that's where I'm from. So I can tell you, up there we say that. It's a little bit of like Chicago kind of stuff. But that's the big thing is that the A's are like that, and also some people say milk instead of milk, which is like, dude, it's an I. It's an I. It's not milk. So
that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. There you go.
Anytime we can use that, I'm good.
Yeah, but no, so he's certainly experienced enough in the Midwest. He's been in Cincinnati. Now we know he's his family enjoyed Baton Rouge. And so now he's going to go out to the mountains and, again, learn that it's Nevada. It's Colorado.
Is it Colorado?
Yeah. People from Colorado get mad, even though, I mean, that one, like the entire world outside of Colorado says Colorado.
I think they're wrong about that. I think the people who live in that state are wrong about that. I'm just here to tell you.
Yeah.
Nevada, I will accept. Colorado, I will not.
Yeah, well, next time go listen to Joel Klatt, because he of course quarterbacked Colorado a long time ago. He says it like, back in the day, Colorado. I mean, he like really pushes it hard to make sure people know.
We'll have the Rob rant coming up next. Take your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode 1025 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
Do you guys know what a good quarterback play is around here?
Losing's really not in my vocabulary.
Tajay Sharp just dropped a pass on third down.
People are yelling at Rexrode on the text line.
It's not like the boss. When the boss plays a Santa Claus coming to town, that is so wonderful.
You know what I don't like? Bruce Springsteen's awful.
Who going to Bible study?
I think there are situations that every now and then just a good old brawl could fix.
Here comes.
It is time for the Rob Rant, brought to you by Rapid Response Generators, power when it matters most, and served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville. We will have Pekka Rinne with us here in about 12 minutes here on the program. Looking forward to Pekka being with us here on the show today. Joe, here's my rant for today, okay? For those of you who don't know, I have a job with my church that I do outside of the radio here. And part of that job is, picking up some trash every now and then and making sure things are clean on the up and up for all the different stuff we've got going on. And I'm very thankful because the people that come in and out of the church that I attend do a very good job of like being respectful and keeping the place as clean as possible and all those things. But because of that, Joe, it has me now when I'm out in public and I'm like walking around or I'm at a restaurant or I'm anywhere out in public, like I just notice trash more now because it's like, oh, like somebody needs to get that, huh? Like it probably needs to be grabbed at some point. So I naturally notice things more. And what I've noticed over the last few months here, and it's really been highlighted over the last week, I've been a couple of places where it's just rampant. People have no respect, no respect for their fellow man out there. It's not that hard. Let me tell you this. It's not that hard that when you're throwing something away, you take it and you actually put it in the trash can. Not on top of it, not underneath it, not next to it. You actually take it and you put it in the trash can. That way it goes in the trash and it's not just sitting on the ground spilled all over the place. It's not that hard. And yet, I see all the time, Joe, now that I'm out in public looking for this. People just throw their trash on the ground or they just throw their trash next. That's my favorite one, next to the trash can. It's like, well, you made it all the way over there. Just put it in the trash. I don't understand this. How have we gotten to the point as a society where I believe one of two explanations are involved here? Either number one, Joe, people are so lazy that they can't just take something and throw it away. Or number two, they are so self-absorbed that they feel like it's somebody else's problem other than their own, that's the way they operate. Either one, I have problems with, but this has become an epidemic. People, throw your stuff away. It's not that hard. Pick it up, put it in the trash can, make sure it's not making an extreme mess somewhere, and then move about your day. It takes a maximum of 7 seconds in order to accomplish this. And it's a huge, huge problem that I'm noticing more and more.
I'm glad you are ranting about this, and it's bad. And it is, I'm sorry to be the old man here, but like, it's just the decline of society. It's just some of this I do think is not all, but there's young people. Young people go through phases a little bit. Well, I think of young men and like, oh, let's go smash some mailboxes. Like there's a little bit of that. Yeah, just throw your trash wherever, like this reckless. So obviously that's a phase. It's not okay. You need to grow out of that. You need to get that crap together. You need to get maybe smacked in the face sometimes. But that's part of it. But it's all up and down the demographic of humanity that some people just don't. And like you said, it's such a simple thing. If everybody just does a little bit, right? But I don't know. That's all. There's also a larger discussion about the planet and the human race and when we will all be overtaken by aliens and they'll turn us into their pets.
You know why there's so many ticks around? It's because you people won't pick up your food. That's why. There's so many ticks around. Rexrode's gotten bit by a tick because you guys won't pick up your food. That's what it is.
Do ticks like food?
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to throw something out there.
Yeah, well,
Maybe-
they hang out with the raccoons and the bears, who also will dig through your trash.
True.
Yes. No, they definitely. They definitely. Yeah. No, it's it's a really good thing, and it's just a good rant, and it's just like it is. I think you're right that it's getting worse. I try to like not always feel that way. You know, it's like, is everything really worse, or is this just like when you heard your grandpa, talking about the kids and their damn rock and roll or whatever,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I really think that just simple things like respecting other people's stuff, respecting the space you're in, all the selfishness of humanity has gone up.
Well,
Laziness and selfishness.
I was walking around a park the other day. Here's the other thing. People will take, I guess they're chewing gum, and they take it all the way to the trash can, but they don't put it in the trash can. They stick it on top of the trash can lid.
God.
It's like, brother, if you're going to walk all the way to the trash can with chewing gum, just put it in the bag. Why are we putting it on top of the garbage can? Like, that's insane to me that somebody's thought process would be that. Like, I understand, a 4-year-old doing that, but once you get into, kindergarten or first grade, you probably grow out of that, I would think.
And exactly. And, someone talking about shopping carts. There's other things like this that are just general courtesy things that are it's so easy to just do the right thing. But it really is so many. I mean, you drive a lot of places, and you look around roadside, and it's just like, how many people just threw their styrofoam cup of pop out or whatever. And it's like, what? Like I sometimes will drive around, I'll have trash in my car. Like it's in there, and then it's like, okay, so now I'm home and now I'll put it in the dumpster. Yay. That was really hard. It's like people like revel in, let's trash this world a little bit. Why?
I think a lot of it is the entitlement. I think a lot of it is also, I don't want to take the 17 steps that are required to go over there out of my way and throw this away. Like, it's those 17 steps. I may never recover from it,
AB from Clarksville. Love the rant, Robbie. As a garbage man, I'm going to add to it. Tie your farting trash bags, too.
Yes. Just tie them up. It's not that hard.
And Drew in Columbia is, be like the Japan soccer fans. Bring those trash bags with you. Yeah, look at that. People who there are people who actually paid at those stadiums to clean up. Like,
yeah.
I actually don't have a problem if you leave your trash in the stadium, because that is something that's taken care of. But wow, what a nice thing,
Yeah.
Above and beyond. How about we have a little bit more of that?
Pekka Rinne will be with us coming up next. We will talk about him getting into the Hockey Hall of Fame, the first Nashville Predator through and through to do it. We will get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We are hoping to be joined by Pekka Rinne here in just a few minutes, and we will get into his induction into the 2026 Hall of Fame class with Pekka coming up here in just a few minutes. So looking forward to that discussion. I mean, we talked about this the other day, Joe. I mean, the class is interesting because you've got Pekka. He's going in with Carey Price as well. So two of the best goalies of the generation kind of going in together. It is, I was thinking about this the other day. It is kind of amazing that like the two primary goalies that Shea Weber played with are going in at the same time too. So my guess is Shea Weber will probably be there at the Hall of Fame induction coming up later this year.
Well, that's a great point. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and of course Shea himself recently minted Hall of Famer.
Yep, 2 years ago.
Yeah, which at that time it was a little bit of like, wow, bit of a surprise.
Well, I mean, technically his contract wasn't even done yet, right? Like that was, I think his contract just expired this year. Like, so I think this is the first year that his contract has been expired. So that part of it is interesting. But yeah, Shea Weber a couple years ago as a first ballot Hall of Famer, and now Pekka Rinne joining the Hall of Fame in 2026. And again, hoping to be joined by him here in just a few minutes. But look, like I said it the other day, like anybody who's been around him, and you've seen this from some of the reaction pouring in. Like I saw Carter Hutton, who's his former teammate who does some stuff for Daily Faceoff now, talking about this the other day, just like the impact of Pekka the person and what that looked like around the league. Like he's universally respected and beloved around the league. You know, kind of the interesting thing, Bill Price at NHL.com did a story on this, and it was basically like, you know, Price and Rinne going into the Hall of Fame together in the same class. And they didn't really play against each other that much, obviously, because Carey Price played in Montreal and the Eastern Conference, and you saw him basically twice a year. And then, you know, Pekka was obviously in the West. But there's Bill Price did a nice story about how, like, you know, Rinne used to watch basically film of Carey Price and the way that he played. Carey Price used to watch Rinne and like kind of like the battle level. And we talked about that the other day. Like, Pekka was so much fun to watch and goal. Yes, he was really good, but it was also because like he never gave up on a play. Like he was always felt like he was still in the save. And sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. But every now and then, because of kind of that approach, he would make a save where you would just be like, oh my goodness, how in the world did he get to that shot? Like it's unbelievable that he got a glove on the thing. And there are plenty of goalies that can make highlight reel saves. I feel like Pekka, in like his heyday, almost made a couple of them every night. Like he made it routine, which is hard to do in the NHL.
Yeah, he was very, very fun to watch. It was also interesting and fun, you know, when it was Pekka Rinne and UC Saros together, because you couldn't be much more different, you know. So obviously, you know, Saros, the way he plays and at his diminutive size as opposed to Pekka Rinne, it was you know, just a great example of like the different ways that you can and in some cases you have to like play that position.
Yeah, for sure. And like I think the size, Pekka was like a perfect example of like combining the size and the athleticism. Like Pekka, pretty good athlete, right? Like if you were around Pekka Rinne, you could see it. I mean, it was funny because there were days where they would be off or like, you know, very short practice days where you'd look out there and it was like, wow, who's that out there like in street clothes just firing one-timers? Oh, it's Pekka. Like he's, you know, just out there shooting today. He's not playing any goal. He's just out there shooting today. So it was fun to watch that stuff. But a really good athlete, explosive in net. And then you combine it with the size. I think that's what made him such an elite combination of he had the athleticism. He had the ability to kind of scramble in net, but he was also the size part of it. And I think, you know, as his career went on, as Mitch Korn and Ben Vanderklok worked with him, he became more and more technically sound. But there's just the pure athleticism he had was unbelievable.
Yeah, at some point late in his career, I was doing a story on him, and he was talking about that. In case he doesn't call in today, I just remember that he said to me, "Yeah, I had the silky mitts."
Yeah,
the silky mitts. But yeah, you think about a guy who, what, 8th round pick, or round that
8th round,
that no longer exists, and to become what he became. That makes the story better, when you sort of have someone like that who is, it just seems like it's so rare anymore that someone gets discovered kind of like out of nowhere in sports, but it still can happen. I will say, NBA draft, Keaton Wagler just went number 5. A year ago, he was like a complete non-recruit, not non-recruit, but like not ranked, not celebrated at all. It happens, but it's way less likely.
It's way less likely. And, the 2011, we talked about this the other day, the 2011 series was probably like the coming out party for him in the NHL, where people were like, oh my goodness, like watch this dude play in the league. And then after that, I mean, he was pretty much perennially one of the best goalies in the league. He went through the hip injury. I remember going to Milwaukee. I think it was I guess it would have been 2014, driving up to Milwaukee and watching him play a weekend in the AHL. And it was, we kind of talk about Milwaukee all the time. We're like, yeah, look at the Admirals. Look at that stuff. Like the amount of media and like cameras and fans that were in the building just to watch him play. It was pretty awesome. Like I will remember that for a long time, of just being there. Like you could tell people were like, this is a bona fide stud NHL goalie. We never see anything quite like this again. Like in the AHL in Milwaukee, like somebody in the prime of their career playing. It was cool to watch him up there in Milwaukee in the AHL for that one weekend.
Yeah, no, that's cool when you have those moments like that. And who knew at the time you were going to be talking about a hockey Hall of Famer?
Yeah, hockey Hall of Famer. And again, like you get the Vezina in 2018, and I said this the other day, like now that he has been elevated into the Hall of Fame, like I think it's the perfect ending to the story. And we head to our phone line now, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in the newest Hockey Hall of Famer to the program, Pekka Rinne, to the show. Pekka, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being with us, Pekka. First off, congratulations. That's it's awesome to see you in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I have to imagine for you that when you got the news, it was just an overwhelming moment. Can you kind of take us through that moment for you and what getting that call was like, getting into the Hall of Fame?
Thank you very much. I mean, it was, when was it? Was it Monday? When it was released in the media?
Yeah.
I got the news like 2 hours before that. I was sitting on the dinner table with my family, and my phone rang, and I was looking at my phone screen, and it said that it's a phone call from Italy, and I'm like, what's going on? Like Italian phone number, and I picked it up, and it's Mike Gardner from Hall of Fame, and then he introduced himself, and at that moment I had no clue, and then it was Ron Francis, and he shared me he gave me the news and congratulated me, and said that congrats, you're gonna be on the class of 2026 class of Hockey Hall of Fame inductees. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I know, I was just so blown away. It's really hard to describe that moment because, obviously it's something that you never even think about. I wasn't expecting that I'm going to end up in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And so it's truly been these past couple of days. It's I've been just trying to take it in. It's still really hard to believe.
Wow, so you got 2 hours notice before it goes public. That's not a lot. So yeah. So you just said you didn't expect it. You had no expectations of this. You hadn't thought about this. I mean, and And at this point, now that you've digested it, Pekka, why, as you look back on your career, did you sell yourself short a little bit?
I don't know. I think to me, it's just something that, I'm a huge hockey fan. I love the history of the game. I love the great players we've had in NHL, and just even for example, there's only 2 male hockey players, Jari Kurri and Timo Solanne from Finland in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And over the years, I just think about all the great Finnish hockey players that that has played a long time in the NHL and achieved so much, and none of them are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And then all of a sudden, I'm there. So I'd say I guess I'm not trying to sell myself short or trying to be too humble or anything like that. But it's just I guess mind-boggling than anything else. I'm proud of my career. I feel like I achieved way more than I ever dreamt of, and so I'm extremely happy and proud, obviously, but also surprised in a positive way.
So, Pekka, we've been kind of reliving some of your career this week in the aftermath of the announcement. I want to take you back to 2011. You guys win a playoff series for the first time in franchise history against Anaheim, and then you take on an absolutely loaded Vancouver team in that second round. And you were just unbelievable in that series. And, there were other guys that stepped up, like Joe Ward had a big series. Matt Halishchuk scored a double OT winner. But I think that's where the rest of the league kind of looked around and said, this Pekka Rinne guy is unbelievable in goal for Nashville. What do you remember about kind of that time in your life and that series in particular against Vancouver, of just the way that you played?
Yeah, I remember a lot of it. Obviously, first round, it was against Detroit, right? And our first playoff win and series win, it was huge. And then going to Vancouver, I mean, at that time, Sedin Twins, everybody, they were on top of their game. And obviously we were, we felt like we were underdogs, but we thought that we had a chance. And, our confidence was building, obviously, from that first round, win. But I believe it was 6 games against Vancouver that we lost. But I remember a lot of those things. That one overtime game, I ended up making that nice save. It was an open net, pretty much. Set in, passed it to Kevin Bieksa, and he had a good look, and I ended up getting with my right arm or something like that, and just diving across like a soccer goalie. I remember a lot of those things, and I think that 2011 that was a big year for the organization. We took a massive step as a small, a little bit of a small market team into a little bit of more. I think we gained as a players, we gained a lot of confidence from that playoff series, and that was a huge thing for us.
So 6 years after that, Pekka, and of course it's 9 years ago now. We've been talking about your career some this week too. Someone brought up the crazy save in I think it was Game 3 against Chicago with the bounce, and you had to react quickly. But that run, what if there's one thing that stands out to you that burns in your brain from that incredible run of the Stanley Cup Final? What would it be?
I want to say the first round after the fourth game against Chicago, we swept them, and at the time, they had been a powerhouse for a long time, and sitting in the locker room and looking around the guys, and just you could sense that confidence. We barely made the playoffs that year, and all of a sudden we just beat Chicago Blackhawks, and the room was quiet but confident, and we weren't celebrating too much. It didn't feel like this was enough for us. We surprised a lot of people or anything like that. You could sense that calmness, that confidence, and it stuck with us. And the next few rounds and moving into Stanley Cup Finals. That was such a special time of my career, and still my favorite memory for sure. That run.
Pekka, I mean, not very many people get to have especially in today's day and age of sports, get to have a Hall of Fame career and do it all with the same team. Like when you think about that, how much extra special does that make it for you? Like, what does that mean to you to have now established a Hall of Fame career and to have done it with one NHL team?
Oh, it means a world to me. It means everything. I think. And just the fact, same thing with my my jersey being in the rafters and the statue thing, and now this. I feel like I share it with so many people, so many teammates. Just because the fact that I was in the same organization for so long, so it just makes it so special. I do want to share it with different people. I want to share it with my former teammates. I want to share it with the people of Nashville and the fans. And it's obviously you realize after your career that it takes a lot of people to make you successful. And I've had so much help along the way, and it's just these moments, they are nice time to reflect back and look back and just enjoy what you've done, and also enjoy the fact that you've received so much help. So it surely does make it feel special that I was in Nashville for the whole time.
So Pekka, catch us up. You mentioned getting the call with your family. I know you've stayed involved with the Preds, scouting, coaching. I know you also, I think, told us that you were thinking maybe you would find a beer league and play a little forward, in Finland somewhere. Like what all is going on with you right now?
Well, obviously, busy with the family. I have 2 kids. My younger one's just turned 1 years old.
Wow.
And my older one's 5. So they keep me busy, and obviously, love being part of Red's family still. And next trip is going to be the training camp and all that. But other than that, I play a little beer league. Actually, I've been in net quite a bit. So it's been fun. Obviously, I'm lucky that my body is still feeling pretty healthy, and I can do that. And so yeah, I really enjoyed that part of it still, that I can still go out there and have fun and play and strap my pads on. And but yeah, that's about it. I mean, just enjoying every minute I get with my family. Now it's been a great timing, I guess, if you could say so. When I retired, my firstborn, he was 1. So, I've been able to, see them grow and obviously spend a lot of time with them. So, your priorities switch obviously after your career. So, but yeah, doing really well, and family's doing well. So pretty fortunate.
That's no fair for you to be in net, man. You gotta go take some face-offs.
I know. I actually once in a while I go out there and play as a forward or something like that, but it probably looks pretty funny.
Well, Pekka, we're extremely happy for you, man. Congratulations on being elected into the Hall of Fame. We can't wait to see you get inducted in there. And thanks so much for being with us today, man. Hope you have a great rest of your summer, and we'll see you in training camp.
Thanks so much, and thanks for your kind words.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Pekka Rinne, our guest here on the program. We'll react to what Pekka had to say. Take your thoughts on the Predators at 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Appreciate Pekka Rinne for taking time to be with us in the last segment. A lot of reaction to Pekka playing beer league hockey. Can you imagine showing up if you're the other team and looking across the ice and being like, oh, great, Pekka Rinne's in net for the other team tonight. Well, thanks for playing, boys. Good stuff.
Exactly. He needs to get out there and skate, man. You know, make it interesting. Yeah, that would be that would be imposing. Someone said it would be like, pick up ball and Larry Bird's over there or something like that.
Yeah,
although at this point, I wouldn't be that worried about that at this point, but yeah, Pekka still.
You don't think Larry Bird can still play?
I'm sure he could still play, but how old is Larry Bird now?
I don't know.
He's 65.
Every bit as old as you are, probably. Let's see.
He's way older than me.
69 years old.
Yeah,
He'll be 70 in December the 7th.
I mean, his back's been bad since he was, 32. So I'd take my chances on, Larry Bird in the post right now over Pekka Rinne in goal.
Yeah.
By the way, I almost asked Pekka. I almost said, Pekka, what are you saying, Pekka, to people who are haters about statues, and yours in particular? But we didn't have time.
Yeah, I mean, people are like saying I forgot to diss his statue. Like, I'm not going to tell him. Like, it's not his fault they put the statue up. What's he supposed to do? Say, yeah, guys, don't do this. Just don't do this.
Pekka, how dare you pose for that statue? Yeah. You should have stopped him, Pekka. You should have stopped him from constructing the statue.
I mean, you've been around Pekka. I mean, they probably had to talk him into the jersey retirement. He's so humble. It's like, hey, but we're actually going to have to retire your jersey. You're going to have to let us do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably did. And then when they said something about a statue, he said, a what?
What are we doing?
He probably thinks exactly what you do about statues.
Maybe.
But that's pretty interesting that he gets the call, because sometimes you wonder, is it, does someone get a few days and they get to celebrate and then it becomes a public announcement? He got the call right before they made it public.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good thing he answered the phone. First off,
I would not answer some random call from Italy.
Yeah.
I spam calls I get, I'm like, yep. I just generally don't answer unless I know the number. So yeah,
I get a lot of spam calls from numbers I don't know that go to voicemail. They leave a voicemail, and I don't even look at that. I just delete the voicemail too. So
yeah,
there's a chance that had they called me, I'd have never known.
Just totally missed the ceremony.
Yeah. Oh wait, Hall of Fame. Wow, how about that?
See it on Twitter and assume it's a parody account and just never think about it again.
Exactly so. Good stuff from Pekka Rinne there. By the way, I mean, he was in Finland, so joined us from Finland, took time out of his day. That just kind of shows you. He's in Europe, and he's still taking time to join shows here in Nashville. Good stuff there.
Yep, good dude.
Very good dude. 615-737-1025. We'll get into some moves that the Predators made yesterday. More your thoughts on that. We will get our final thoughts on our Titans question of the day as well at the end of the program. All that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. 1025 The Game will have live coverage of the NHL draft starting tomorrow at 6 o'clock with Willie Donick, Max Hers, and other Preds broadcasters. We'll take you through the end of the first round as the Preds currently have the 10th overall pick. NHL draft coverage on 1025 The Game presented by Tennessee Brew Works and the UPS store Green Hills. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Joe, before we get back into the Predators, we do have some breaking news in the NBA. LaMelo Ball has been traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to Minnesota for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 more first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks as well. So look out in 2033 for that first-round pick going back to Charlotte.
How the heck is it allowed to go 7 years into the
I
future?
mean, I think Oklahoma City just now wrapped up the last pick that they got from the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander trade, like last night.
That's interesting, man. LaMelo Ball, like Chase from White Bluff is saying, LaMelo Ball and Ant-Man together. Interesting. Naz Reid's a key part of that team, but still, like, that is some serious perimeter score the basketball clout on one team.
I can't take LaMelo seriously. Have you ever seen the video of him in the Hornets facility getting scared by the clown and him just reaching back and slapping him? It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
You've showed it to me 25 times.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
Yes, and it is amazing. He just bitch slaps the guy. It really is.
I would describe it as a high-pitched scream would be the way I would describe it.
Yes, just a huge scream and a slap.
So best of luck to LaMelo Ball in Minnesota alongside Anthony Edwards.
It is, it is interesting. If you're in that conference, you got to get creative. Like the East is, the East, of course, they kept Giannis on the East side with your Heat. The East, I think, is still very much, they're not disrespecting the Knicks, but there's no super team over there. There's no, oh my God, how do we get past this team? Over in the West, I mean, OKC looks ridiculous now, even more so, and obviously the Spurs are going to be there. So you gotta get creative over there if you want to.
Well, Minnesota's in the West.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought, okay, all right.
So
all right.
that's what I'm saying is if you're in the West, you've got to try
right.
stuff. You got to.
I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Sorry, that's my bad.
That's okay.
I should never doubt you.
That's okay.
I know PK tells me now
to clown. You were thinking of the clown.
I was thinking of the clown. PK tells me now to just doubt everything you say NBA wise. So I should have given you more benefit of the doubt. That's my bad.
I'm sure we'll get a text from PK really soon, like, "Whoa, what a trade!"
Yeah, big NBA guy now. Big NBA guy now.
Michael and Madison says, "Now's reading a 5th grader for LaMelo." That's pretty much. Who's out there?
See you guys in 2033.
Yeah. Who's out there looking good in the Pee Wee League? Get ready.
That's a bold move for a GM to make. It was like, we're going to get this draft pick, and I definitely will not be here, especially.
Of course, now the dogs are going nuts. Oh, must be the tick problem. Hey, stop barking. God. Hey, enough. This is great. This is great reality radio.
I think it is.
As Chase says, yes, LaMelo more of a true point guard. Yeah, no question. I mean, but he can score the ball too. I mean, it's you never know how some of these combos are going to work. But I'm intrigued by that one. I could see that actually being pretty good.
That could be pretty good. We'll see how it goes for LaMelo Ball there. The Preds made trades yesterday. Fedor Svechkov, Zach LaRue have been shipped to Colorado, and Jack Drury coming back the other way from the Avalanche. They also prospect Chase Bradley's in there and a 3rd-round pick in the 2029 NHL draft. So 2 former first-rounders gone from the Predators. Chris MacFarland comes in and sends Svechkov and LaRue back to his former team. So far, Joe, 2 for 2 in trades between the Avalanche and the Predators since Chris MacFarland has taken over as GM.
Incoming Forsberg for McKinnon, straight up. Who's in? Who's in? Sakic is down with that.
Justin Barron for Cale Makar.
every defenseman in the Preds organization through 2033 for Cale Makar.
I'd probably make that trade.
Yeah. It's another reminder, I guess, of like the first round troubles for the Preds in recent times. Someone on the YouTube chat was asking like who's been better or who's been worse, in recent years, the Titans or the Preds. And I would say, although as you said earlier, you got to keep Matthew Wood. That was a promising season last year. Obviously, Brady Martin's not going to be Philip Tomasino or some guy who just disappeared. He's going to be a key part of the Preds. We'll see just how good he is. But I would say that, the Titans actually have a chance to have 4 in a row that hit to some degree, whereas the Preds just went through a stretch here with just a lot of first-round picks that didn't work out. And here we go again. A year ago, we were talking about, okay, is Svechkov actually ready, to take on this bigger role? And pretty much demonstrated clearly that he wasn't. And so now he's gone.
He's gone. LaRue, like, to me, I mean, honestly, I'm down on Svechkov. Like, we talked about this earlier, the offseason. Like, last year was really discouraging on that front. It doesn't automatically doom him moving forward, but it's not a great sign. Like, it was not a great sign that he was as bad as he was last year. LaRue spent probably more time than you would have liked in Milwaukee last season, and then he finally got called back up. And he was fine. Like, I thought, the offense started to come a little bit more often at the end of the year. Thought he started to play a little bit better. But the bottom line is, somebody said this earlier on the text line of the YouTube chat. I can't remember which one, and I totally agree. You at this point with those two guys, Svechkov and LaRue, you would have liked to have seen more at the NHL level, and the fact is they just haven't. And the Predators have a lot of prospects. They've got a lot of decisions that they're going to have to make in terms of which prospects are they going to invest in, which prospects are they going to have to move on from, who's going to be an NHL player for them, who's not going to be. Like, there's a lot that you're going to have to sort through if you're the Predators here. So, and now that you're talking about, in Svechkov and LaRue's case, being 2 general managers removed from the person who drafted you. I mean, just common sense in pro sports tells you it's generally not good news for you if you haven't established yourself as an NHL player or an NFL player or whatever it would be when the second general manager since you've been drafted comes in. So we see Svechkov and LaRue on their way to Colorado, and we'll see what that means for them moving forward. Let's head back to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Craig to the program. Craig, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, guys. Is Pekka the nicest? Is he the most gracious sports guy we've ever had here? He's just, he'll call in and talk from Finland. He calls in and talks to us. It's just fantastic. That was a great interview.
Thank you. Yeah, he's got to be up there.
You know what you're going to get from him every single time. He just wants to talk. He's such a good guy. Every time I hear his voice, I have just these memories. Everybody's probably got that. I'm sure every Preds fan has memories when they hear Pekka, but I remember driving to the arena in 2005, and they were playing the Blackhawks, and the radio guys announced the goalie for that night, and it was Pekka. And I remember thinking, oh no, not against the Blackhawks. Who is this guy that he's brought up for no reason? And I think even the announcer was having trouble with his name that night. Yep. Get on the ice. Pekka's there. Pekka's huge, and I'm thinking, what's this going to be? And I remember they won that game 5-3. I think he saved 35 of 38, and watching him play, and just, you guys remember, he would go anywhere on the ice to get a puck. And going in, it was like, oh, who is this guy? And leaving, I remember thinking, I wonder if we just saw something. And it turns out, yeah, we did. Yeah. We just saw something. So that memory just came back to me when he was talking, thinking that first game, going in thinking, oh no, and leaving thinking, wow, I think we might have just saw something there. And luckily we did. Just wanted to share that. I was lucky enough to get to see the last one, like a lot of people, but Pekka's just great. And I wonder how many memories people have just when they hear Pekka's voice, what comes back.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a great story. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I mean, it's, he gets drafted, Joe. He played in 2 games in the 05-06 season at age 23. He didn't play the next year for the Predators in 06-07. He got 1 game in 07-08. And then he went from basically, somebody that hadn't done anything in the NHL to at age 26 coming in the league. And from then on, he was just the guy. Like he came in 08, 09, established himself as the guy and took off from there. It is like when you think about his path, it's pretty wild the way that it went down.
Incredible story. And that to a Hockey Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And to a statue, even if some haters hate the statue. Amazing story.
I said the other day they should make another one. Make it bigger.
But Craig brings up a good point. Who are the best ambassadors? I mean, you put him in terms of Nashville. I guess we keep it to pro sports.
Yeah.
Who are the best ambassadors for their teams, but also for Nashville? Just people that just have time for everyone. Have
Eddie George, Pekka Rinne. Like there's two of. It's gonna be hard to top those two right there. I mean, hopefully, Cam Ward one day maybe, but like Yossi, I'd put in there. But like Pekka and Eddie George, like if you're talking Preds, I'd go Pekka right now. Titans all time at the moment, I'd probably go Eddie, right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let's not forget D-Mace. I mean, I know D-Mace
sure
didn't help Ian as he was laboring for 4 hours outside yesterday, but D-Mace would also be one of those guys. Recent. So like Mariota,
Isaiah Wilson,
Mariota. Yeah, there you go. Mariota could have been one of those guys if he was right. Like he was
sure. Yeah,
if he was good enough. He's a very humble guy, right?
Threw the ball the wrong team, but other than that, yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's right. And there's people who irrationally hate him.
Couldn't complete an 8-yard pass.
I mean, Derrick Henry, right? I mean, like Derrick Henry, I think and I thought like he had a chance to like say goodbye to the fans. I mean, I think
for sure. But I mean, he's a Raven right now. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wins it all for the Ravens, and yeah, that'll make it tougher. But yeah, Pekka would be, in all seriousness, at the top of that list. Just an extraordinary level of humility for what he is as an athlete.
Did Marcus ever complete a pass? 615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll wrap up the show coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. All right, Joe, we got a World Cup match tonight. How are we feeling? I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but how are we feeling about the World Cup match tonight?
Feels great to have seriously, when has this ever happened? Doesn't mean anything. U.S. has already won the group. So I'm excited to watch it because it's some guys who normally don't play, I assume, and see how that depth can do. It looks like
Doesn't mean anything.
That's right. Looks like it's going to be Bosnia Herzegovina, if I said that correctly, in the round of 32 on July 1st in San Fran. That's at least, last I saw, was like 99.9% chance that's what it is, which is not a terrible draw. And like PK said, to the quarters, like the U.S. is going to be favored in the 32 and the round of 16, should be favored to win. Doesn't mean they will win them, but that's still like, in a lot of years, of course, the knockout round used to start at 16. You'd be immediately an underdog in that round as USMNT. So I'm excited. Also, real quick, Ryder, we did not touch on this, but really quick, congratulations, Jacoby Gillespie to the Spurs, second round, 42nd overall. Tyler Nickel to the Knicks.
Ian, get a jersey.
That's right. Get your Nickel jersey.
Okay,
And,
how about that? I like that. We can need a shooter. Could use a shooter.
Sure. And Felix Okpara to Washington. So kind of like the East Coast Sacramento. It was good to see you play basketball back in the day. Yep. Felix, good luck to you.
That'll be the last we hear from him.
Maybe they'll be good. They got DeBonsa. Maybe
how many picks in 2033 do the Wizards have? Do we know?
I'm not sure. Does AJ DeBonsa
how far out can you trade picks in the NBA?
I did not know that you could do 7 years. So I hope it's not more than that.
I got to get to the bottom of this. I mean, they're talking about the NFL making it 5, and people are freaking out about that. Apparently, 7 is the max in the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. They maxed it out. So, 7's ridiculous. It's nice of the GM though to like leave a pick for
4 general managers from now.
Yeah, his successor's successor.
Yeah,
that's very nice. Very nice of him to think of him.
Doesn't it have to suck to be like the Charlotte Hornets and just know that you're never going to be good? Like, doesn't that have to be like just I would imagine, Joe, there's at least some like diehard Charlotte Hornets fans out there. Doesn't it? It's just got to be a terrible feeling, right? Like, oh, we'll never be good ever. Awesome, great.
Well, they should. That doesn't have to be the case. It has been their reality. Now, I'm old enough to remember when they had Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning in the mid '90s, and they actually,
different league.
They had some,
People leave all the time now.
Yeah. Well, if you got to hit on, you got to draft a superstar and quickly, look at like Memphis and what they did. And of course it's dissolving a little bit here because I do think they're going to trade John Morant. And of course they've already traded Jaren Jackson, but they did have a little window there where it was like, is this going to be an up and coming, super team? John Morant, I think, largely screwed it up. But also like they didn't have enough around it, but they, you think about when they had Bane, with they had a chance there. So there's, maybe the Wizards will actually become something. We always talk about the Sacramento Kings, the Siberia of the NBA. They did have 20 some years ago, a little window where people actually watched them on television. So, but yeah, some franchises, to your point, just sort of seem doomed. And here you go, LaMelo Ball. Bye. It was fun while it lasted.
I wish the Hornets great success moving forward here. Who did they draft? I don't remember where they picked.
You know what? That's I've got the I think I had like some draft grades up, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But obviously, when you trade a ball, you are, you're again getting into the
Steinbach.
Oh yeah, I didn't love that pick. I watched him in college, and I get it. He's young. He's big and skilled. I don't know, man. He seems like a bit of a stiff to me, but prove me wrong.
Well, congrats, Charlotte. Way to go.
People being very excited to.
I mean, we talked yesterday about how I don't know that I've ever seen a Jags fan in the wild. I'm sure I've never seen a Hornets fan. I've never been walking around like, hey, that guy's a Charlotte Hornets fan. Look at it. He's got a Hornets shirt on. Never has happened.
Not since the 90s.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot. Hannes Steinbach. They did get Christian Anderson, and I really like Christian Anderson from Texas Tech. I really like him.
He's from Texas Tech, of course.
Of course you do. Yeah. Guns up.
Guns drawn. Christian. Yeah. I like that pick. So I don't know what that's going to mean for them, but at least, but again, it's like, that's another one of those players was like, man, Darius Acuff.
Yeah.
Really was looking forward to watching the NBA, but now you're in Sacramento.
I am heading out of town, which means it will be you and Kuharski on the program tomorrow. So the people have that to look forward to. I wish you both great success tomorrow on the show.
Thank you. He's already made me promise we'll talk a lot of soccer, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to it. USA in action tonight in what really amounts to a meaningless World Cup game, but that's a good thing. Good thing in this occasion on the USA front. I will be back on Monday. Joe and PK back in the morning. Hope everybody has a great time this weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman is coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.